Now for the advanced equation section of the midterm, please remember that you should be filling out your correction sheet as you go along. It says, which of the following equations is a simplified version of this equation? Remember, simplified just means that it's a little bit more simple. Doesn't necessarily mean that it's all the way solved. As you can tell, because none of our answers right here gives us an x is equal to a number. It's not simplified all the way. So it looks like to actually be solved. So it looks like we just need to figure out which one of these means a shorter version of this. So we might want to start by putting our lazy river right here in the middle. So this 2x can't be combined with this x right now because this x minus 4 is stuck in the parentheses and you can't do x minus 4. So the first thing we have to do is use our distributive property to jailbreak out this x minus 4. Remember, to use distributive property, you take the outside number, multiply it by the first number inside, take the outside number, multiply it by the second number inside. So negative 5 times an x is a negative 5x. Negative 5 times a negative 4, be careful, that's a negative times a negative, so that is a plus 20. I'm going to bring down this 2x. Now I can do this negative 5x combined with that positive 2x. Negative 5 plus a positive 2 is a negative 3x. Now I'm ready to start doing some actual solving here. So let's see. Do I have, so far I've got negative 3x plus 20. So I see a negative 3x up here in my answer and a negative 3x, but nothing plus 20. So let's go ahead and just keep on solving it like we would. Remember, we want to isolate the x. That means get the x by itself so that we've got an x on one side and a number on the other normally. So in order to isolate the variable, I need to get rid of this 20. So I'm going to subtract 20 to cancel out that 20. That's going to leave me with a negative 3x. If I subtract 20 from over here, I've got to subtract 20 from over here. 16 minus 20 is a negative 4. Oh, I have no idea why I just said 36. Sorry, guys. That should be a 3x. My bad. That 3x needs to come down after I got rid of that 20. So I've got a 3x over here. 3x is equal to negative 4. Let me make sure that that made sense for you guys one more time. So after I did my distributive property, I had negative 5 times x, which is negative 5x, negative 5 times a negative 4, which is a positive 20, plus 2x. Then I combined my negative 5x and my 2x, because they're like terms, they gave me a negative 3x. So I still didn't have negative 3x plus 20 is equal to 16 up here for any of my answers. So I kept going. I got rid of that plus 20 by subtracting 20. If I subtract 20 over here, I have to subtract 20 from over here. 16 minus 20 is a negative 4. If that 20 is gone, then all I've got left is that negative 3x. So I've got negative 3x is equal to negative 4. And there it is right there. So my answer should have been C. It's important for you to keep in mind that this question is kind of an unusually worded one. This isn't asking us to solve for x. It's just asking us which one of these options means the same thing as this one, just in a more simplified form. Number 10, which statement is true? So 2x plus 7 minus x is equal to 2 plus x plus 5. So the equation has one solution. Now, if it only has one solution, by the time we get done with this, it should be x on one side and a number on the other. X is equal to a particular number. Two solutions, I'm not really sure what that means. I'm going to come back to that. Infinitely many solutions. Remember that that needs to have something like this. Like, this is a simple version, but x plus 1 is equal to x plus 1. You've got the same stuff on both sides of the equal sign, which means that you can put any number in for x on both sides, and it'll always balance out. Something like D would look like something like x plus 2 is equal to x plus 3. Because no solution means, okay, x plus 2 on one side is equal to x plus 3 on the other. There is no such thing as a number that if you put in a number for x, x plus 2 is going to give you the same thing as x plus 3. They're always going to be different. So with those ideas in mind, let me go ahead and solve this. So I've got 2x and a negative x on the same side of the equal sign. So I'm going to combine them. 2x's, take away an x, is an x, plus 7 over here because I can't do 7 plus x. Over here I can put together 2 plus 5, which will give me a 7 plus x. So over here I've got an x plus 7. Over here I've got a 7 plus x. It's exactly the same thing. It's very similar to the example I gave you up here. I can put any number in for x that I want. Let's say if x is 1. 1 plus 7 is going to be 8, which is the same thing as 7 plus 1, which is going to be 8. Let's say I decided to make x a 2. Well, 2 plus 7 is going to be a 9, just like 7 plus 2 is going to be a 9. I could put numbers in for x all day long, and as long as I put the same number on both sides of the equal sign are always going to balance out. So that means that my answer is C. The equation has infinitely many solutions. Number 11, just plain old solving it. I like rewriting them a little bit bigger so I have more room. Draw my little river right here. So I've got x's on both sides of my equal sign. I got to get rid of one of them. Doesn't matter which one I get rid of, but I prefer to get rid of the smaller one just because I feel like it's easier to deal with negatives. So to get rid of that plus 5x, it's going to be a minus 5x. That's going to leave me with a negative 8. I subtracted 5 x's from over here, so I'm going to subtract 5 x's from over here. 7x minus 5x is 2x minus 2. Now I need to get this x isolated, so it's an x on one side, it's a number on the other. So I need to keep isolating this. So I got to get rid of the 2. How do I get rid of a minus 2? Of course with a plus 2. That's going to cancel. I added 2 over here, so I'm going to add 2 over here. That's going to leave me with a negative 6. I'm going to bring down the 2x. I've got a 2 sitting next to the x, which means that that is multiplication. What's the opposite of multiplying? Of course, it's to divide. So if I divide by 2, that'll cancel and leave me with an x. I divided that side by 2, so I'm going to divide that side by 2. X is equal to negative 3. I should have picked A. Last but not least, number 12. I'm going to rewrite this over here. So I've got I should back up a little bit. I've got distributive property that I need to do first. I can tell that because I've got this 2x minus 3 stuck together in parentheses, but there's nothing I can do with it until I get it out. So I'm going to use my distributive property because this 4 sitting next to the parentheses means multiply. So 4 times 2x is 8x. 4 times a minus 3 means minus 12. I'm just going to bring my minus 8 down. 4 plus 2x can't be combined any more than it already is, so I'm going to leave it. Negative 12 minus 8 is a negative 20. So I'm going to do 8x minus 20. I'm going to bring down my 4, plus 2x. So now that's as simple as I can get. I've got 8x minus 20 over here. I've got 4x plus 2, or 4 plus 2x over here. So I got to get rid of one of these x's. I'm going to get rid of the 2x for no particular reason, just because it's smaller. And I'm going to cancel. That's going to leave me with a 4. I subtracted this side by 2x, so I'm going to subtract this side from 2x. 8x minus 2x is 6x. Minus 20. Still got to keep isolating because that variable is not by itself. To get rid of that minus 20, I'm going to plus 20. It's going to cancel. Leave me with the 6x over here. 4 plus 20 is 24. So I've got 6x is equal to 24. So now I got to get rid of that 6. I'm going to kind of rewrite this over here to the side because I kind of ran out of room here. So I got to get rid of this 6. That 6 sitting next to the variable is multiplying. I'm going to get rid of that multiplying by dividing. That's going to leave me with x. I divided that side by 6. So I'm going to divide this side by 6. X is equal to 4.